Before you take another capsule of ashwagandha or add another spoonful of Moringa to your morning water, you need to hear this. Because one of these herbs is feeding your body at the cellular level right now. And the other, without the right preparation, might actually be doing the opposite. After 60, that difference is not small. That difference shows up in your joints, your testosterone, your sleep, your brain clarity, and the way your body feels the moment you get out of bed. Stay right here. In the next few minutes, I'm breaking both herbs down completely, so you know exactly which one your body needs and how to use them both without wasting another day. Here is exactly what we cover today. First, I'm going to show you what actually happens inside the male body after 60. 3 specific breakdowns that most men never connect to their herb choices, and most doctors never explain. Then, we go deep on Moringa, what it does inside the blood, the liver, and the joints, and the one preparation mistake that wipes out most of its power. Then, ashwagandha, the cortisol connection, the testosterone research, the sleep mechanism, and the exact timing that most people get completely wrong. After that, the verdict, which herb actually rebuilds your body after 60. And finally, a 7-day stacking protocol showing you how to use both without conflict, without guessing. This is the complete picture. Let's start with what's really happening in your body. Here's something most men over 60 are never told directly. The fatigue isn't laziness. The stiff joints in the morning aren't just aging. The poor sleep, the foggy thinking, the slower recovery after any kind of physical effort, these are not random. They are signals. And they all trace back to 3 specific breakdowns happening inside the body right now. Breakdown number 1, cortisol dominance. After 60, chronic stress, even the quiet, low-grade kind, pushes cortisol higher than it should stay. And when cortisol is elevated for too long, it begins stealing from your testosterone. Literally. The same biochemical pathway that produces cortisol is the pathway that produces testosterone. When cortisol wins, testosterone loses. And when testosterone drops, you lose muscle, energy, drive, and recovery speed all at once. Breakdown number 2, systemic inflammation. Not the kind you feel as sharp pain, the quiet kind. The kind that operates below the surface. Breaking down cartilage slowly, thickening arterial walls over months, slowing cellular repair day by day. This is the inflammation that makes recovery take 3 days instead of 1. That makes your joints ache after a 30-minute walk. That makes your brain feel like it's processing through fog. Most men are never told their fatigue and joint pain share the same root. Now you know. Breakdown number 3. Micronutrient depletion. This one is the most underestimated. The body after 60 absorbs nutrients differently than it did at 40. The gut lining becomes less efficient. Zinc reserves drop. Magnesium depletes. Iron absorption slows. The amino acids needed to repair muscle tissue, your body starts running short on them. And when micronutrients are depleted, every system suffers. Immune response weakens. Bone density slides. Sleep quality collapses. Even mood becomes harder to regulate. 3 breakdowns. And both of these herbs address different parts of this picture. That is exactly why the choice between them matters. And why using one without understanding the other is leaving half the solution on the table. Here is where most men make the mistake. They hear about Moringa. They buy the powder. They start adding it to everything. But they're still wired, still anxious, still not sleeping, because Moringa, as powerful as it is, does not regulate the stress response. It doesn't calm the cortisol spike. It doesn't reset the adrenal output. It's a feeder. And if your hormonal system is still misfiring, feeding a broken engine harder doesn't fix the engine. Or they hear about ashwagandha. They take it every morning. But they're still exhausted, still depleted in key minerals, still running at a deficit, because ashwagandha doesn't flood the body with bioavailable nutrients. It doesn't rebuild what's been lost at the cellular level. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you what each herb actually does, and why timing and pairing changes everything about the result you get. The enemy here is not either herb. The enemy is incomplete information. The supplement industry presents one herb at a time. One problem, one solution, by this bottle. But nature doesn't work in isolation. Nature heals in layers. And for a man over 60, healing in layers means understanding which layer each herb is designed to address. Moringa is a builder, a feeder, a nutrient delivery system that goes deeper than almost any plant on the planet. Ashwagandha is a regulator, a cortisol controller, a hormonal reset mechanism designed for exactly the body chemistry that develops after decades of chronic stress. Different mechanisms, different entry points. Used correctly together, they cover every breakdown we just covered. Let's start with Moringa. Moringa oleifera, called the tree of life in more than 40 traditional healing systems across Africa, India, and the Caribbean. And that name is not accidental. This plant contains over 92 bioactive nutrients. Not 10, not 20, 92. In a single leaf, gram for gram, Moringa carries more calcium than milk, more iron than spinach, more vitamin C than oranges, more potassium than bananas, and a full spectrum of essential amino acids, including the ones your body uses to rebuild and maintain muscle tissue. After 60, here is why that profile is extraordinary. Moringa and the blood. Moringa is dense in iron and folate, the exact combination the blood needs to carry oxygen efficiently to every organ. When oxygen delivery is compromised, you feel it as fatigue, as heaviness, as the inability to sustain effort without feeling completely drained within the first hour of your day. Moringa corrects this at the source, not with synthetic supplementation, but with bioavailable iron the body can actually absorb and use. Moringa and inflammation. Moringa is rich in isothiocyanates, a class of plant compounds consistently linked in research to reduced inflammatory markers in the blood. These compounds signal the immune system to shift from inflammatory mode into regenerative mode. For men with chronic joint discomfort, cardiovascular inflammation, or digestive inflammation, this is where Moringa earns its global reputation. Now here's something most Moringa content never tells you. And it directly affects how much of this herb you are actually absorbing. Moringa must be consumed raw or at very low heat. Anything above 65 degrees Celsius, roughly 150 degrees Fahrenheit, begins destroying the enzymes responsible for nutrient bioavailability. If you're adding Moringa powder to hot tea, a hot smoothie, or cooked food, you are significantly reducing what reaches your cells. Cold water, cold smoothies, or capsules taken with cold water. That is how Moringa reaches you at full strength. Moringa and blood sugar. Multiple studies confirm Moringa's ability to reduce fasting blood sugar levels, a critical factor after 60, where insulin resistance tends to accelerate quietly. The compound responsible is chlorogenic acid. It slows glucose absorption after meals, which means less spiking, less crashing, and less of the inflammatory cascade that follows blood sugar instability throughout the day. Moringa and the liver. The liver is your body's primary filtration system. After decades of processed food, environmental exposure, and pharmaceutical residue, the liver's efficiency declines. Moringa has been shown in peer-reviewed studies to reduce liver enzymes associated with inflammation and to support the regeneration of liver cells at the tissue level. When the liver filters better, every downstream system, hormones, immune function, nutrient absorption, functions better. How to take Moringa after 60. 1 teaspoon of Moringa powder in cold water or a cold green smoothie every morning on an empty stomach, or 2 500 milligrams capsules with a full glass of cold water 30 minutes before breakfast consistency over 21 days is where the cumulative benefit begins to become visible. That is Moringa, the feeder, the builder, the mineral-dense foundation. Now let's talk about Ashwagandha and why it does something Moringa cannot. Ashwagandha, Withania somnifera. The Sanskrit name translates to smell of a horse, because traditional healers believed it gave a man the strength and vitality of a stallion. It is classified as an adaptogen, which means it helps the body adapt to stress, not by numbing the nervous system, not by sedating you into calm, but by directly regulating the hormonal pathways that govern your response to stress, specifically the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. This is the master control system for cortisol. Ashwagandha and cortisol. Research published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition found that ashwagandha supplementation reduced cortisol levels by up to 27% in subjects experiencing chronic stress. For men over 60, where cortisol elevation is almost universal, this is not a marginal finding. A 27% reduction in cortisol means measurably more testosterone activity in the bloodstream, better sleep architecture, faster recovery from physical exertion, and reduced abdominal fat accumulation, because cortisol is one of the primary drivers of midsection fat storage in men. Cortisol signals the body to hold fat reserves in the core. Biologically, the body believes it is under sustained threat and needs emergency energy reserves. Ashwagandha interrupts that signal, which means it addresses one of the root hormonal causes of belly fat that diet alone cannot reach. Here's the one that surprises most men. Ashwagandha and testosterone. Ashwagandha and testosterone. A peer-reviewed study in the American Journal of Men's Health followed men between 40 and 70 who supplemented with 600 milligrams of ashwagandha root extract daily for 8 weeks. The results showed a statistically significant increase in serum testosterone, an average of 14 to 22% depending on the subject's baseline. This is not a manufacturer claim. This is peer-reviewed data. The mechanism operates on 2 levels. First, by reducing cortisol, ashwagandha removes the hormonal interference that suppresses testosterone production at the source. Second, ashwagandha compounds appear to directly stimulate the hypothalamus to increase luteinizing hormone, the signal the body uses to tell the testes to produce more testosterone. For men over 60 experiencing low energy, reduced drive, loss of lean muscle, or slowed recovery, ashwagandha is targeting the hormonal root cause, not the symptom. Ashwagandha and sleep. Ashwagandha root extract contains withanolides, compounds that calm neural overactivity without sedating the nervous system. The result is a shift in sleep architecture, faster sleep onset, longer time spent in deep sleep stages, and clearer waking, without the grogginess that pharmaceutical sleep aids create. After 60, sleep is not passive rest. Sleep is the window where muscle tissue repairs, where hormones reset, where the immune system conducts its deepest surveillance. Protecting and deepening that window is not optional. It is the foundation of everything else. How to take ashwagandha after 60. 300 to 600 milligrams of root extract, not leaf powder, standardized to at least 5% withanolides. Take it in the evening, 45 minutes before sleep, not in the morning with a small amount of warm water or full-fat milk. Withanolides are fat-soluble and absorb significantly better with dietary fat. Allow 30 days before evaluating results. The HPA axis adapts slowly, but the reset is measurable. The question you came for. Which herb actually rebuilds your body after 60? The honest answer, both. But not interchangeably. Not in the same way. Not at the same time of day. Moringa rebuilds from the outside in. It floods your cells with the raw materials they need to function: minerals, amino acids, antioxidants, bioavailable iron. It corrects deficiencies. It reduces inflammation at the tissue level. It feeds the blood, supports the liver, and stabilizes blood sugar. Ashwagandha rebuilds from the inside out. It corrects the hormonal imbalances that are actively preventing your body from using whatever nutrition you give it. It resets the stress response. It lifts testosterone. It protects the sleep window where all regeneration actually happens. If your dominant issue is fatigue, joint inflammation, blood sugar instability, or nutritional depletion, Moringa is your front line. If your dominant issue is chronic stress, poor sleep, low drive, cortisol-driven weight gain, or hormonal decline, Ashwagandha is your front line. And if, like most men over 60, you are dealing with more than one, that is exactly where the protocol comes in. This is the 7-day protocol I want you to try. Follow it exactly. Then come back to the comments and tell me what you noticed. Morning, 7:30 a.m. 1 teaspoon of Moringa powder in a glass of cold water, or blended into a cold green smoothie. Take it on an empty stomach, 30 minutes before your first meal. This primes your digestive system, delivers iron and amino acids into the blood early in the day, and begins the anti-inflammatory process before food introduces additional variables. With breakfast, 8 a.m. a meal that includes healthy fat, avocado, eggs, olive oil, nuts. The fat-soluble nutrients in Moringa absorb more efficiently when followed by dietary fat within the hour. This also stabilizes blood sugar for the first half of the day and supports liver function through the morning. Evening, 8:30 p.m. 300 to 600 milligrams of ashwagandha root extract with warm water or a small cup of full-fat milk. This is the window where cortisol naturally begins to decline and melatonin begins to rise. Ashwagandha extends and deepens that transition, protecting the quality of sleep that follows. Do not take ashwagandha in the morning if sleep quality is your primary concern. The cortisol-lowering effect works against your morning alertness when the timing is reversed. What to expect? Days 1 through 3, you may feel very little change. This is completely normal. Both herbs work cumulatively, not acutely. Days 4 and 5. Most men report a subtle but noticeable shift in morning energy. Less grogginess. A cleaner transition from sleep into waking. Days 6 and 7. Sleep quality begins to deepen. Morning joint stiffness starts to reduce. Digestion feels more settled. This is the inflection point. From here, the benefits compound. Stay consistent for 21 days. That is where the full picture emerges, and where the difference between information and transformation actually shows up in the body. Even the most powerful healing herb can become a weapon when it's used incorrectly. Timing is not optional. It is part of the protocol. Now I want to hear from you. Are you currently using Moringa? Ashwagandha? Both? Neither? Drop it in the comments right now. And tell me, which of those 3 breakdowns we covered today do you recognize in your own body? The cortisol dominance? The inflammation? The micronutrient depletion? Your answer tells me exactly what to cover next for you. If this gave you something real today, share it with one man who needs to hear it. The one who's been told his fatigue is just part of getting older. The one who's been taking ashwagandha in the morning and wondering why it isn't working. Share this video with him. And if you are not subscribed yet, do that right now. Because what we build on this channel is not wellness decoration. It is the kind of information that changes how your body actually functions. Nature heals in layers. Today, you added 2 more.